Hello. Okay, guys, welcome back to a new video. Today we are going to talk about and today we are going to learn about congruence of triangles. It is one, so if you remember, we are continuing to learn more and more about triangles, and in the same continuation, today we will study congruence. Before that, let's recap quickly. Last time we studied Pythagoras theorem, which basically is perpendicular square plus base square equal to hypotenuse square. We also learned how to prove it, and I hope that it is clear to you by now. Today we'll learn congruence. What does it mean? Congruence of line segments and angles, congruence of triangles. What are the criteria of congruence in triangle and why these are the criteria, and why some of the other criteria possibly are not criteria for congruence. For example, AAA. I will explain what it is. Let's understand what congruence is. Meaning of congruence is equal in all respects. Okay, हर तरीके से same होना चाहिए. That is the meaning of congruence. If it is equal in all respects, two figures are congruent. And how can they be equal in all respect? Is that if we are able to place each other, two figures over each other, so that they cover each other completely without leaving any part uncovered, or without any part of one figure uh, overlapping, okay, or exceeding the figure below. So it has to be an exact match, okay. And the other way to understand congruence is that the shape of two figures and the size of two figures, it has to be equal. So if I take a rectangle like this, if I take a smaller rectangle, the shape is, let's say, in the same ratio. If the length is to breadth ratio is 2 by 1, here length is to breadth ratio is 2 by 1, but the size is smaller. So shape is similar, okay, but size is not. Therefore these two will not be congruent. When I place this over here, it will be placed like this, right? And there will be some part of this larger figure, okay, which will be overlapping outside, and there obviously this smaller figure will not be able to cover the larger figure. Therefore these two figures will not cover each other completely, and hence they will not be congruent. So two things, shape has to be same and size has to be same. Now let's understand what is the meaning of congruent line segments. Very simple, no rocket science. Two line segments of equal length, they are congruent. That's it. Do not overcomplicate. End of the story. If one line segment is 5 centimeter, other one is 5 centimeter, they are congruent. If one is 3 centimeter, other is 3 centimeter, they are congruent. It doesn't matter how you draw them. If one line segment is drawn like this, other is this, but the length is same, then they are congruent. Why? Because you can turn and put it over this, right? Similarly, two angles, if they are of the same measure, they are congruent. If it is 40 degree, it is 40 degree, they are congruent. Now you can say that what if this ray is extended like this while this is this? See, as long as the angle is 40 degree, it doesn't matter what is the length of the ray, because ray anyway, it is just indicative, right? These two rays, they will go till infinity. That's the meaning of, like, they will go beyond this page also. But here we are only interested in the measure of the angle. So long the measure of the angle is equal, two angles are congruent. So very simple. Out of the box, we learned congruent line segments, we learned congruent angles. Now let's learn congruent triangles. Okay. Cool. Now we are learning congruent triangles. Once again, I've already explained that these two triangles have to be exact copies of each other when superposed. Meaning of superposition is that you have to put the figures over each other, and if they cover each other completely, they are called so the process of keeping one figure over another figure is called superposition or superpositioning, okay. And the condition for congruency is that they should cover each other exactly. What does it mean, covering each other exactly? Is that it should not be smaller, one figure cannot be smaller even marginally as compared to the other figure, and vice versa, the other figure cannot be greater than the smaller figure even marginally. So they have to completely cover each other, like nothing should, they should be the exact copies of each other. Okay, now if these two triangles are made in such a way that ABC, and I am just turning, so this whole figure, this has been turned in this way, and another triangle has been made, so that corresponding to point B there is point Q. Okay, as you can see, this ray indicates that I have turned it. When you turn it in this fashion, basically you almost turn it in over 180 degrees, right? When you turn it in this fashion, this vertex A will come here, right? Because it will turn and then it will come here, and this vertex, it will get turned and it will become the top vertex, right? So which is why C, so do not get confused by the direction in which this A to R and C to P is made. Actually we are turning this triangle like this. So when we turn it like this, A will turn and come to the bottom, and C will turn and it will come to the top. Okay, so C will turn and come to the top, and that is P, and hence the corresponding vertices B will correspond to Q, C will correspond to P, A will correspond to R. Okay, and therefore we can say, and these are the exact same measurements and lengths, therefore we can say that triangle ABC is congruent. This is the sign of congruency. You put a equal to and then this you have to make like this. So you have to put it on top of equal to, it means congruent. Okay, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. Now corresponding to A, what is the, it is Q, and then corresponding to C, what is it, is P, and then corresponding to A, what is, it is R. See, when two triangles are congruent, obviously you can write anything. We write it in this way because then we know that which angle corresponds to which in the congruent triangle, and hence it is to be written like this. Now we know that angle BAC, okay, is equal to angle ABC. So sorry, just give me a second. I think let's write it properly. Point B corresponds to point A corresponds to point R, so we will write it as R. Okay, point B corresponds to Q, so we will put it as Q, and point C corresponds to P, so that will be the, that's how we will write the congruency, that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle RQP. And whenever you're writing congruency, you have to make sure that you write the corresponding points to the right, you have to correspond it with the right points on the other triangles, because it's very important to now, when I say ABC is congruent to RQP, okay, when I say ABC is congruent to RQP, what I mean I will tell you. Just by reading this, you can say, obviously we know that these two triangles are equal in shape and size, but then you can directly say that line segment AB is equal to line segment RQ, line segment BC is equal to line segment QP, line segment CA, okay, is equal to line segment PR. Similarly, angle A is equal to angle R, angle B is equal to angle Q, and angle C is equal to angle P, right? So let's see, angle C is equal to angle P, right? We just saw that angle B is this, is equal to angle Q, angle B is equal to angle Q, so on and so forth. So in congruency, all the three angles, okay, for mathematical purposes, understand that if two triangles are to be congruent, all the three angles, okay, angle 1, 2, 3, they have to be equal to all the three angles here, and not only that, all the three sides will also be equal to, only then and then two triangles will be congruent. Haha. So this is the first criteria of congruency. Now we will learn that there are certain criteria, certain conditions between two triangles. If they are met, then triangles become congruent to each other. Okay. Now it's very simple, SSS. It's called side, side, side. Now if under a given correspondence of two triangles. If the three sides of a triangle is equal to three sides of the different triangle, and it doesn't matter the orientation of how you draw the triangle, okay, you can turn the triangle so as to meet the right vertex with the correct corresponding vertex, okay. But as long as all the three sides here is equal to one, the three sides here, it basically says that both the triangles are equal. So what I am saying is that if three sides of a triangle are equal, of two triangles are equal, basically the angles which will be formed between those sides will also be equal. So let's see. Do you remember we learned how to draw a triangle? And if not, then go to practical geometry of my class 6th series. It's in the playlist on my channel and you can go and check it out, practical geometry. So let's first understand how do we draw a triangle. Let's say if we have to draw this triangle of 2 centimeter, 4 centimeter and 5 centimeter. Okay, so what I will do first, first let's say I will take a line segment, and in this line segment I will cut an arc of 2 centimeter. Okay, I have done this. Let's call it A and B. Now from B I will cut an arc of 4 centimeter. Okay, so I will cut an arc of 4 centimeter, and then from point A I will cut an arc of 5 centimeter. Let's say I will cut an arc of 5 centimeter. Now that's my vertex. Now obviously when 2 centimeter, now you can say that what if the 5 centimeter arc I am cutting from this? Yes, you can do that also. You can cut the 5 centimeter arc from here. Okay, you can cut it from here, and you can cut the 4 centimeter arc from here. What will happen is that this triangle, okay, and this triangle, they will basically, these two lengths are going to be the same only, and this angle will also be the same. It's just that the orientation of the angle will be slightly different. Otherwise the angle will be the same. And when I teach you circles, you will basically realize that we can presume that these two are basically arcs, and these 2 points are on a circle, and therefore these two angles will be equal. But we will come to that. Just park this idea for now. But only the orientation will change. So you will have to do a little bit of practical geometry to see that actually when you fix the three sides, the angle will be equal. That is a given. The angle will be equal. So that's one criteria. It's called SSS. Okay. Now why not SS? That is also a fair question, that if SSS, why not SS? I will tell you. Let's say 3, 4, 5 is the side. Okay, so let's fix one side. Let's fix 5. So 5 I have fixed here. It is a 5 centimeter. Now I will cut one arc of 4 from here. It will go like this, and I will cut one arc of 3 from here, and it will go like this. It will intersect here, and I will get my triangle like this. Now if only two sides are fixed, let's say I have only fixed 4 and 5, or let's say I have fixed 5 and 4, right? So 5 I have already drawn. This was the 4 centimeter arc which I cut like this. Now this is the 3 centimeter arc which I cut. What if I chose to cut a 4 centimeter arc from this side also? Then it would have cut it at a different place. Or if I chose to cut an arc of 3 centimeter from this side also, then it would have cut it a little lower, right? And in that case we would have got different triangles, which is why when two sides are there, two sides are not sufficient, because then you can draw infinite number, and as you can see that the points, they will continue to decrease in size because the length is different, the angle will change. And if the angle is changing, then triangles cannot be the same. So that's why SS is not a criteria of congruency. Then I have SAS. Okay, then I have SAS. What it means is that if for two triangles, two sides two sides and the angle between those two sides, if it is equal, for two different triangles, if this is equal, those two triangles will be congruent. So let's see. Let's first start drawing. So first I have a side of length 5 centimeter. I have drawn it like this. I am calling it side BC. Now the angle C is 65 degrees. I have drawn it. Now this second, because I said the two sides, their lengths have to be fixed and the angle between them has to be fixed. When the third side I have fixed, now I have fixed the direction of the third side. Now I am fixing the length on the third side, which is 3.4 in this case. It could be anything. Now if I have another triangle in which I have two sides of length 5.5 and 3.4 and the angle between it is 65 degrees, okay, then basically can my third side, can there be a variation? Can it vary? Can I change this third side now? Because now this point B is fixed. Now I have fixed point A also. It cannot tilt in this direction, it cannot tilt in this direction. Why? Because the angle is fixed and I have fixed the length in such a way that two sides and the included angle is fixed. So the third side, it automatically it is fixed. You cannot change it. So if two sides and included angle is matched, basically that's an identical triangle. You can only make one such triangle. You cannot make other triangles like that. And that's why SAS is a congruency rule. Just remember that whenever you are drawing two triangles, no, let's say ABC and EFG. So let's say angle A is equal to angle F and AB is equal to EF and AC is equal to FG. In that case, how we will write the congruency? Because this side AB is equal to EF, right? And AC is equal to FG, and now you see that angle A is equal to angle F. Angle A is equal to, I mean this has to be given. So now you see that I have two sides which are corresponding to each other and are equal, and the included angle, it's always the included angle. ऐसा नहीं कि these two sides or this angle and this angle, no. The angle which is in between, which is at the intersection of these two sides, that angle has to be equal. So then automatically my BC will be equal to EG, right? Now if I have to write the congruence, what did we learn is that we will have to correspond the vertices. So angle A here, okay, let's write congruence like this. Angle A here will correspond to angle F. So we write A and then we write F. Now AB is equal to EF. A we have already written, let's write B, and AB will be equal to EF, but F is corresponding to A, so E will correspond to B, okay? So, and then similarly, last point is C, so last point is G. So in terms of congruence, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle FEG, which means angle A is equal to angle F, angle B is equal to angle E, and angle C is equal to angle G. So that's how we'll have to define it. So SAS, two sides equal and the included angle has to be set. Now another criteria of congruence is ASA, okay? Again, now S is in the middle. So basically I am saying is that two angles are equal across two triangles and the side between these two angles is equal. Now let's break it down a bit. when across two triangles, when two angles are equal, है ना, just let's just forget side for a moment. When two angles are equal, isn't the third angle also equal, right? Because the sum total of the three angles is 180, है ना. If the sum total of three angles is 180 and the sum of two angles is A, sorry, two angles is and the two angles are equal across two triangles, then the third angle is also equal. So we know that ASA basically is AAA ASAA, right? But which also tells us that having all the three angles equal across two triangles is not sufficient, because if this happens, there can be a case where the shape of the triangle is same but their sizes are different, so all angles will be same. Like for example, two equilateral triangles, right? I can draw one equilateral triangle as 60 60 60, so all three angles are equal and the sides can be 2 2 2, and the other equilateral triangle I can draw again 60 60 60, but sides will be 4 4 4, so in size it is different, but for congruence the size and shape both have to be equal. Okay, so let's come to, and which is why we need a side to say with confidence that two triangles are congruent. Angles alone will not make triangles congruent. And once again, it is two angles and this included side, बीच का side, not any side. So between the two side, if there are two triangles, if this angle 1, this is angle 2, and this is angle 3, this is angle 4, this is angle 5, and this is angle 6. If angle 1 is equal to angle 5, for example, and angle 2 is equal to angle 3, oh sorry, my bad, angle 6, for example, right? Then between 1 2, this is the side, and between 5 6, this is the side. So this side will have to be equal to this side. Then these two triangles will be congruent. And let's understand why. So let's try and draw it. Practical geometry is the best way to ascertain. You draw it and you will understand why. Let's draw a triangle. I am drawing a triangle, so my side is, one side is fixed. Let me fix it at 5 centimeter. Now let me draw an angle of 60 degree on this side. That is my first angle. Let me draw another angle of 40 degree on this side. Okay. Now you tell me, this side I have fixed. This cannot change. Now on one end I am drawing an angle of 60 degrees. So this direction I have fixed. It cannot bend here, it cannot go here. And here also the direction I have fixed. So there is only one place in which these two lines will cut in. So basically this third vertex I have fixed. How? This is 5, this is 60, and this is 40. Now I am saying that this direction is fixed, obviously, because angle 60 is fixed, 40 is fixed. So they will only cut at one place. If this were to be 5 centimeter, or let's say if this were to be 4 centimeter, है ना? And then if I drew a angle of 40 degree from here, same angle. So these two will be parallel lines. If this is 40 degree corresponding angles, then obviously this would have cut the triangle here, right? The vertex would be lower, because here the side is not fixed. We have reduced the side, or if we, let's say, increase the side, then it would have cut it at a higher place. But because over the fixed distance, this side is fixed, see, the included side is fixed, and then two angles we are fixing at the end, then we know that the third point has to be an identical point. And you can draw the 60 from this side, 40 from this side. You only will be looking at the triangle from a different side. That's it. And that's why ASA is a congruence. So it's important to know why ASA is a congruence criteria, because every time we are seeing that, it basically ascertains that there cannot be any variations in the triangle. Yeah. Now this is the question, and we are asked to ascertain whether triangle AOC and DOB, they are congruent to each other. So this is 30 degree, this will be 30 degree using which vertically opposite angles, right? This is 70 degree and this is 70 degree, and if I khincho this line a little bit, if I stretch it a little bit, I am stretching it a little bit. So this line COD is nothing but a transversal, and I see that the alternate interior angles are equal, right? Therefore AC is parallel to DB. Okay, this we learnt already. So AC is parallel to DB because alternate interior angles are equal. COD is my transversal. And therefore by that definition this will also be equal to this, right? Otherwise also, without ascertaining that AC is parallel to DB, I can say that because this is 30 30, this is 70 70, therefore the third angle 80 degree, because 100 100 180 and 80 degree, it will be equal. Okay, now that all the three angles are equal, so 70 degree is here, so the what is the point C, okay, is corresponding to D. 80 degree is point A, is corresponding to 80 degree here, point B, and O is corresponding to obviously O. Why we are saying? Because between these two angles 80 degree and 70 degree, the length AC or the length CA is basically equal to the length sorry, this O will come at the end. This length CA is equal to the length DB, because C corresponds to D and A corresponds to B, right? So we can say that yes, these two triangles are congruent to each other, congruent with each other. Okay, now let's get into right hand triangle congruence, which basically is, okay, if what it says is that in two right angle triangles, if the hypotenuse, this is H1, so these two are equal. If the hypotenuse and one side of the right angle triangle are equal, okay, and one side of the right angled triangle are equal to the other, so it says that like one side of the right angle triangle is like either perpendicular or base is equal to either perpendicular or base of the other one, and hypotenuse is equal, then triangles are congruent. So yes, obviously, because abhi we have learnt in Pythagoras theorem that hypotenuse square is perpendicular square plus base square, right? So if I make this constant and make this constant across two triangles, then my base, which is the third side, that value will also be constant, right? So basically I will get S, 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 all three sides equal, hence congruent. Correct? So very simple. The other way, one more thing I would want you to look at it, is the hypotenuse and one side of the triangle are respectively equal. Correct. The other way of looking at it is why we are saying that one side and hypotenuse have to be equal. Why we are saying that? Why are we not saying that only hypotenuse is equal and therefore triangles will be equal? And I will tell you why. I will tell you why. Because for one hypotenuse there could be different arrangements of perpendicular, and so I can have a hypotenuse of 5. Here I have the hypotenuse of 5. Okay, and then I can take 2 plus 3, 2 square plus 3 square, sorry, my bad, this is a classic Pythagorean triplet, 3 square 4 square, this is 9 and this is 16, it is 25, which is 5 square, right? So this side could be 3, this side could be 4. I have got one combination for this one. Fantastic. Now the only thing which I know is that the hypotenuse is equal. I can also say that root 20 and root 5. Okay, so one side can be root 5 and the other side can be root 20, which basically is 2 root 5. Okay, yeah, this square plus this square is also 5 square. So this basically is 20 and this is 5. So I get what is square root of a number. We will come to it, and I'm hoping you know it. But this is another side combination. This could be 2 root 5 and this could be root 5. Okay, and they have certain values. So are we meeting SSS? No, we are not, and therefore it is essential that hypotenuse, along with hypotenuse, one of the sides has to be equal. Then only it will become a right hand side, right angle hypotenuse side congruence. That's what it is called. Okay, so that's on that. And then what are not the criteria of triangles for congruency, and we have discussed it. AAA, I told you using the example of equilateral triangle, is that we can draw a large equilateral triangle, angles will be the same, therefore we need a side. And ASA, basically we don't write A, we say that ASA, because when we say ASA, two angles, automatically the third angle is equal. Okay, so just saves us confusion and time. Now the other thing that we learned was SAS, right, included angle. Now you can say that why ASS is not it, right? So let's check it out also, why ASS is not, or why SSA, if you find it too funny, why SSA. So let's take two triangle, let's construct a triangle. Let's say that this side is 3, this side is 4, and this angle is 60 degree. Okay, so let's try and form this triangle. I draw a line segment of 4 centimeter right here. Now on one of the now this included angle is not A, right? It is some other angle. So let's say that this angle is 60 degree. Okay, extend it. Now this from here I am to take a side of 3 centimeter. Okay, I have to cut an arc of 3 centimeter. Now you see that this for me with this measurement it might not even be possible to build a triangle, or this 60 degree could be here also, right? Like wherever, let's say this is some distance and then I draw 60 degree from here. Okay, 60 degree. So this is 4 and this is 3. Okay, let me tell you in another way that if there is a triangle in which basically this is a Pythagorean triplet, so it's, let's say it is 5 centimeter and this is 2 centimeter and the angle is 60 degree, any other angle, not the included angle between these two sides. So now when using this, can we first draw a fixed triangle? Let's see that. Let's say 5, this is 5 centimeter. Okay, this is 5 centimeter, let's call it AB. Now from here let's cut an arc of 2 centimeter, right? Let's cut an arc of 2 centimeter like this. So this will be the arc. So the vertex of the triangle can be anywhere here. And when I draw a 60 degree angle, or when I draw a, let's say whatever angle, let me draw a 30 degree angle, so that, or any angle that helps me by intersect this arc, let's call it angle theta. Okay, let's fix theta so that at least we are directionally able to intersect this. So let's draw an angle at theta. Okay, let's say it intersects the arc here, so that then we get a triangle like this, right? But in the other triangle, if I get, let's say, 5 centimeter, now it is cutting it here, and this distance is 2 centimeter, okay, and this is theta. Now if I only know that 2 centimeter, 5 centimeter, and not the included angle is theta, then theta could also be like, I draw a 5 centimeter arc here, okay, let's call it DE, and then I could draw a 2 centimeter at an angle theta, okay, and then this angle would have been something else. Then what happens is that your 2 centimeter is basically from this side, the 2 centimeter is here, and then you get a different triangle, right? Because now I am cutting the 2 centimeter arc on the direction of theta. So now I am getting a different triangle altogether. So this initial triangle is different from this triangle, and hence in order for me to have congruency of two triangles, the angle has to be in between of the two sides. Only then I can establish that the triangle which I am making is a unique triangle, and that's the only way to establish congruency. So it's a slightly more conceptually complicated, but I thought that it will be fair for me to come in and help you out. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Very happy to answer. That's my email ID, and you can also drop a comment in the comment box. And see you soon with the next video. Bye.